180 km/h paddock runs, tight, tricky junctions, rough, rocky and rutted sections, the cocktail of road conditions served up on this year's Griffith event. With the weather playing its part, this day one's opening lap proved to be a beauty. 80 super tough Ks, the field holding little back. With such a furious pace comes plenty of drama. Series leaders and defending event champions Owen and Ryan out. Just 12 kilometres in, a broken stub axle firing them off the track. Their race over. Gundawindi's Mick Napier also in trouble with CV failure. Sam Gadalita a failing clutch and issues for Luke Urseg, losing a heap of time. Out front, the Alubi craft of Andy Ryan on a mission. Quickest by far, opening up a 52-second advantage. A fantastic effort across the lap. Ryan very pleased with his result and the sportsmanship of his closest rival.
It's a great feeling, something that I haven't had yet, a feeling to be starting off the front in an ARB Series event. So I'd like to thank Jack Rhodes today because he has been a very fair competitor and he actually spun out at a gate and he could have pulled in front of me and we'd made a bit of time up on him and he'd done the fair thing and let us go. So it was great racing. Thanks very much, Jack.
Young gun Rhodes, coming off the back of a recent event win, is full of confidence. This, however, is his first run at the Griffith track. He will need time to get fully comfortable with the course. That said, a brilliant first lap, second spot outright, even after letting Andy Ryan through.
Yeah, I didn't, don't know really what come over me. Normally a sportsman, competitiveness is thing, but, it tried to be fair and we weren't sure whereabouts he was. We thought he was pretty close, so we waited for Andy and we knew he was going fast and catching us, so we didn't want to impede on his race and be unfair, so full credit to him anyway, though he was going fast enough to be in the position to overtake us.
Danny Brown getting a good run out of his 42 car and putting in another clean, quick run to take third place for the opening lap.
Yeah, no, the car's going really well. We've had a good run this morning. Obviously, there's no dust here. The track's pretty much perfect, and it's quite rocky out there. So there's a really fine line between how quick you can go and really looking after your tyres. Because the last thing you want here is a flat tyre.
Finally, a bit of luck for Andy Brown. Another with a trouble-free lap. His Sabre suited well to the track layout. Fourth outright, a good spot. Working his way up the leaderboard from his 7th in prologue, Greg Gartner was mindful of the tricky conditions on his way to grabbing 5th.
The first lap, being up in the top runners there, it had very slippery corners and the solid diff in this truck, you've got to watch that it doesn't step out and a lot of trees and that. So I've been pretty careful. We wanted to get it back in a pretty straight piece and it is, which we're pretty happy about. But it was pretty unpredictable corners out there being really wet, but I think tomorrow it'll certainly dry out and after 70 cars over it, it should be fine tomorrow.
Good work for the class runners up and down the field. Brett Smith in front of the Pro Light division, Wells and Price over a minute up on their Super 1650 rivals. Dean McGinley, quickest sportsman, Chris Hardy, Bradley Burton and Matthew Dunk, all leaders in their respective classes. Low fog and a temperature to match greeting the crews for day 2. 4 big laps, 2 runs followed by a 1-hour service, plenty of tough competition to come. No racing action for Matt Ryan, he and driver Glenn Owen unable to get the Jimco back in shape after the issues on day 1. The fight for the series also now wide open.
We actually didn't hit anything, but it's obviously put a lot of fatigue on the wheel on my side, and it parted company with us about 12 k's into the event yesterday. So Yeah, very, very disappointing, but that's racing.
So, Matt, with you and Glenn out of this round, out of the third round, having won the first two, the series is just blown wide open for 2014.
Yeah, it certainly is. Carl Havey's in the box seat now, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him for the rest of the day today. Yeah, but it's certainly going to open it up for Gundu Indy, and yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, it's taken the weight off our shoulders. Like, we were, I think, 3 points behind him, and we knew Glenn, if he did well today, well, we'd probably stay in that position. All we got to do is hold it together today and hopefully remain there. So
you're in a great position. You didn't prologue all that well yesterday, but now you're sitting pretty.
Yep, we had a big accident 2 weeks ago. I had a big rollover at one of the Australian rounds, and it's taken me a bit to get back on my feet. So I reckon by about lap 2-3 today, we should be back on track. So yeah, no, it's just, we're not outfoxing anyone today. We're just trying to get feel our feet back again. So.
This is Jack Rhodes in attack mode and looking the goods, taking no time at all to get to grips with this challenging course and pushing to the limit. 36 seconds of that 52 that he was behind the outright leader Andy Ryan ripped back on the opening lap. He and co-driver Paulino continuing the pace on the second run to make it to the service stop, now in the lead by 44 seconds. A super drive from this young charger. For Andy Ryan, 2 quick and clean laps. Although not able to hold Rhodes out, he pushed the 50 car to be the closest driver to the fastest time. In the process, increasing his lead over the third place Cruz, and now holding a comfortable gap of in excess of 3 minutes. Danny Brown in a great scrap with his father Andy. The two teams separated by just a few seconds on each lap. Danny had an overnight lead of 36 seconds. After these 2 runs, he's stretching that out to 41. After a pretty ordinary start to the season, this is great work for Andy Brown. He certainly had the pace, and now it seems some reliability to go with it. 4th outright into the break, and in good shape to attack on the final 2 laps. Greg Gartner upping his pace on these opening laps into the service, holding on to 5th place. Havey and Dan Bonner in their own little scrap, both teams firing in good fast laps, both teams with machinery in good condition. After a hiccup on prologue, Andrew McClellan taking advantage of his reseeding spot and pushing his way into the top 10. 8th outright and the lead of the Pro Light class, a very good morning's work. Jason Corliss and Mark Everly putting down consistent lap times and rewarded with 9th and 10th respectively. Stay with us. After the break, the run to the flag. 160 very tough Ks still to complete. Can anyone chase down the super fast Jack Rhodes? Back soon.